Hey guys, back again. In my last video I mentioned going a little bit further into dental implants, going abroad for them, cost cutting and different options. So from my research and inquiries the past couple of months, I found there's a few different options. There's obviously implant supported crowns, where you're getting more so individual teeth put on an implant and abutment. Now that's going to get quite pricey if you want to go that route. If you've only got 2 or 3 teeth that need doing, then it's not so bad. But looking about $3,500, $4,000 per implant supported crown. By the time you go 30, 32 teeth in your mouth, you could be racking up quite a bill. So I'm kind of going to stay more so away from that. Going to focus on as myself having dentures and wanting to go fully upper lower supported bridges. We have more so implant supported and implant retained. Now, 2 completely different things that could quite potentially get mixed up. Implant supported, you're getting the implant posts put in and going back later for the abutments to go on, and the dentures themselves, just a very, very slim horseshoe type bridge that the dentist fixes onto the abutments afterwards. Now they are a fixed hybrid denture, so they stay in your mouth permanently, and you go back to the dentist every few months to have them taken out and put through the ultrasonic and cleaned up and clean the implants and everything, look at your hygiene at your mouth and whatnot. That's a really good option if you want to keep your teeth in your mouth. Can also get quite a bit more expensive. And then we have the implant supported dentures. So more so with the supported, you can get away with 2 implants, pretty much where the incisors would typically be in the bottom, and 4 in the top. And to be honest, if you've already got dentures and they're relatively new in the past couple of years, you can have them modified to attach to the abutments themselves. So they'll put those implant posts in and then they'll put the abutments on, but they're more of a ball and socket type abutment. So you can have a couple of wee sockets in the dentures themselves and the wee balls on the implant abutments, or the opposite. So essentially they're not as slim line as the fixed, where it's more so that the teeth are erupting from the gum. They're very similar to a denture, but you don't have the big chunk of plastic in the palate of your mouth. So obviously you're going to have a little bit more feeling and taste and whatnot there as well. They do still go over the gum line a little bit, more so on the bottom as well, but they get locked in place. So you clip them in place and they stay there. They're solid as, just like the retained. But from a prosthodontist point of view, after speaking to a couple of them, they are a better option for hygiene, because you can take them out daily, clean your dentures, remove stains, look after them, clean around the implants, instead of having to wait 2 or 3 months until you can see your dentist to have them all cleaned. Now, naturally as well with implant retained, where they're fixed in there, you can still get food underneath. There's a very small gap left between the gum tissue and the base of the denture. Now it's considered more of a impacted food, where that gets stuck between the gum tissue and the denture. It can cause a bit of discomfort. Now forget that, you're going to have to go and see your dentist. They're going to have to drill out the sealing caps over the screws. Take the denture out, clean it up, remove that, and you might have a bit of a tender gum under that. Now if you have implants supported and you get a bit of impacted food, well, you can just pop that out, give it a good clean up, get rid of the food, put it back, and away you go. Myself personally, I love the idea of having it fixed. It's permanent, doesn't come out of my mouth unless I see a dentist. But from a hygiene point of view, and I suppose more of an ease of care for myself, I do like the supported. Now, if I go supported, it's quite a bit cheaper than going fixed as well. So fixed is going to run up a few more grand on the dentures themselves, because they essentially have a titanium plate inserted into the base that allows it to fix permanently. And that takes quite a bit more work, and for myself, from an engineer's point of view, it's some quite precise work that they're going to have to pull a few more technicians in on, and even from the dentist's point of view, it is definitely a bit more up there in cost. If I was to, at this point in New Zealand, the best prices I've got, really good prices actually, I would be looking at, if I was to get 4 implants on the top, 4 implants on the bottom to go fixed route, I'll be looking at 22,000 for the implants themselves. Another 4,000 for the abutments afterwards, so we're up to 26,000. And the dentures themselves, with it's going to run me a few thousand per denture because of the titanium insert in the base, and the extra work involved in doing them. So that's still pushing me up to a low to mid 30s. Now if I go implant supported, I can get 2 on the bottom, 4 on the top. They're going to be as solid as having retained, but I can still take them out. But then the cost comes down as well. I can get 2 implants bottom, 4 implants top, and that's going to run me 17,000. And then I could have some new dentures made to suit them. But the dentures that I have in my mouth, which I quite like, I can have them modified, and that's bugger all. So I can have the implants for 17,000, go back for the abutments, which is another 2,000 pretty much, and my existing dentures can be modified to suit those at about 500 bucks. So that's getting me implants in New Zealand for 20 grand, which is half the cost of trying to get fixed implants anywhere in New Zealand. So that's great. Now, if I want to go a step better, I can go to India. $10,000 I've been priced to get fixed dentures, top and bottom. 4 implants top, 4 implants bottom. Now that's a fantastic price. Should you go offshore for dental? Now that's where it gets tricky. There's a lot of dodgy dental clinics out there, and some really good ones. So you need to do your research. As for India, I've come across Dents Dental. A lot of good reviews about them. I've spoken to a few of their surgeons. They've sent me all their qualifications and accreditations, and these guys are internationally accredited. Some of the best surgeons worldwide and implantologists. Some of them are trained in Switzerland and Germany and the US, and they've got internationally recognised qualifications. These guys, experience-wise and qualification-wise, I haven't come across a dentist or prosthodontist, oral surgeon in New Zealand that quite comes close to the qualifications and accreditation that these guys have got. So myself personally, I'd quite happily go to India and pay 10 grand to get my teeth done. Warranty wise, okay, if something was to go wrong and an implant was to fail, essentially I'd have to go back to India to have it done. Now that's getting a little bit problematic. It's a few grand to travel back to India for a couple of days to get one repaired or replaced. But then warranty wise, I get implants in New Zealand, typical warranty is 5 years. Maybe 10 years if you're lucky. India, these guys are offering 20-year full money back warranty if something was to go wrong. And they'll repair or replace anything at no cost. Naturally, you have that cost of travelling back and staying in another country offshore if you need to have it done. So you've got to weigh up the pros and cons. So we have implant supported crowns. Couple of teeth missing, great, go for that. I personally don't think I'd want to pay for 20 plus implants in my mouth to hold a few teeth. I'd rather go the all on 4. All on 4 is more aimed at people with insufficient bone in their jaw too. So if you haven't got a lot of bone, it's still a good option. Myself, I've got a lot of dense bone, so I'm quite lucky. I can go any which way on that. But there are some definitely good options and some good ways to cut cost. If you'd like any information, contact details or recommendations on any of the information I've found and different surgeons around the world that I've spoken to and come across recently, leave a question in the comment section or throw me an email. I'll leave that in the description, and I'll quite happily throw that information your way if you want to look a little bit further yourself. But yeah, so I'm just over 2 weeks, finished my first week back at work after having the surgery done, and feeling pretty good. I mean, to be honest, I've had a few ups and downs, but it's all worth it in the end. There's no point fearing getting dentures if you're going to have to go that route. To be honest, your life is going to be better in the long run, I believe. Can be a little bit of frustration. I know myself, being a very active male and working in an active industry, I love my food. And eating at the moment's a bit of a bitch. But hey, you just got to stay positive and look at the end result. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you'd like. Any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. Have a good day, guys.